Hello again, this is Jack Sheffield, Jack the exam guy. I'm going to be talking about the plumbing exam. This is just an overview and what you might expect on exam day. So if you've already been there and done that, you may want to skip this video, but it's actually not a bad idea to watch it either way, because if you've been there and done that, that means and you're back, that means maybe you didn't pass, and maybe a little bit of strategy might help you out a little bit. So, first of all, it is the only paper and pencil exam that they do have. Everything else has gone to computers, and you still do the paper and pencil. It's scheduled every other month in Orlando. It's the even months. And um, because you have the isometrics, understand that's why they still do the paper and pencil one, because they want you to be able to draw isometrics. Okay. And then, you want to make sure that you bring a straight edge with a ruler on it. It's a good idea to have a ruler, as part of that straight edge, because some of these isometrics that it's kind of important that you get the length of these, of the pipes, correct. Okay, make sure that you bring several pencils. They should have some, but they may not. You don't want to depend on them. Bring you a little sharpener and a good eraser. All right, don't depend on the little erasers that's going to be on the top of the pencils, because you may have to do a lot of erasing. It's possible. Okay, and when you do erase, you want to make sure that you get it all off. All right, and of course you want to bring your manuals. Okay. Now, this is from the actual construction information booklet. They don't do the greatest job of explaining what you're going to be doing that day. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to expand on it a little bit. So the Plumbing General Trade Knowledge Examination is currently administered in Orlando, Florida, in one day. The day is composed of a 4 hour and 30-minute morning session. Okay, that's when you're going to do your isometrics. And it just says isometrics, but you're actually going to have to answer some questions as well. And a 4 hour and 30-minute afternoon session, multiple choice, with no isometrics. You're reporting at 7 for the morning session and at 1 for the afternoon sessions. The administrations normally take place on a Wednesday in the following month. Okay, the even months, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, and 12. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of overview, but let's get a little more technical. The specific. The Plumbing General Trade Knowledge has a total of 160 possible points. The examinations consist of 110 questions and 5 isometric drawings. Each of the isometric drawings is worth up to a maximum of 10 points. So you got 110 points on your questions, 50 points on your isometrics, and to pass the examination, a candidate must have a score of 112 out of 160 possible points. So if you get all 110 right and you get no isometrics right, you don't pass. So you got to know how to do some isometrics, even if you ace all of the lookup questions. So that's kind of important to know. Okay. And then there will be more detailed information about the isometrics in the isometrics course, and that's true for my course as well. I'll have a lot more detailed information about the isometrics. Okay, now, so let's break this down a little bit. 110 questions. Well, 45 of those questions, okay, plus 5 pilot questions, 5 questions that they're checking out to see if, they don't count for you, they don't count against you. They just want to check those out. They're testing those questions, and so you really have 50. All right, so you've got 50 questions in the morning in addition to the 5 isometric drawings, and then they tell you there's 65 questions in the afternoon. Well, they got the 5 pilot questions as well, so you actually have 70. All right, so I'm going to get my little pointer out here. So I'm pointing here. You got 50 and 5 isometrics in the morning. You have 70 questions, no isometrics in the afternoon. Okay, so here's the strategy. Okay, there's always a little bit of strategy that I like to have you employ. You've got, you don't want to spend all your time doing isometrics, but you want to spend enough time. So here's what I say. Go an hour and a half on the isometrics. First of all, you're going to get the easy ones. It's going to be real important, real obvious which ones are the easy ones. You're going to start with the simple and work towards the hardest. And after an hour and a half, maximum 2 hours, you are going to want to stop your isometrics and go on to your book questions. Okay. If you only do an hour and a half on the isometrics, and then you leave 3 hours to do the 50 questions, so it's 180 divided by 50, 180 minutes divided by 50 questions is a little more than 3.5 minutes per question. Okay. Well, if we figure that out in the hour, 60 minutes divided by 3.6, we get about 17 questions per hour. So that's the pace you need to be on if you use an hour and a half. If you use 2 hours, you got to be doing about 20. So, so I want you to kind of pace yourself. So once you stop your isometrics, look at the clock, and then, time yourself, try to keep that pace of 17 to 20 an hour. Okay. And then the afternoon session, you have 4.5 hours again. So it's 270 minutes divided by 70. So that's a little more. It's 3.85 minutes per question. So it's about 16 an hour. So you got about 16 or 17 an hour that you're going to have to pace yourself. And in my course, I do divide that, the practice exams. The practice exams that are in my course, I do those at 17 per practice exam, because each practice exam I want you to take about an hour to do, and that way you'll know what pace that you should be on when you're taking the exam. Okay, so my course is divided up into two portions. It's going to be the manuals portions and the isometric portion. So one section is going to take you through all the manuals. They'll have videos for each manual. You'll have practice exams for each manual. The more important manuals, you'll have more practice exams. The ones not so important, you won't have as many practice exams. But if you watch all the videos and take all the practice exams and take it seriously, you should be set up for the manuals. On the isometrics, I take you through all the different types of isometrics. I say there's 5 levels, starting off with the easy to the hardest. And if you enroll in that course, that'll become obvious. Okay, well, this is